Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Cooking with the Commish. We're going to do a quick episode on what I like to say is not all pastas are created equally. So we're going to do a quick video on what pastas to choose and why choose them and what the difference is between certain brands of pasta. So let's get right to it. This is a simple generic brand pasta that you can buy at any store, Walmart, anywhere, right? There's that. This is about $1 a box. Very inexpensive pasta, and we're gonna see why it's such an inexpensive pasta. We're gonna understand a little bit about the pastas. So now, one, it falls apart very easily. Now, if you look at this pasta, if my wife can zoom in a little bit on it, you see how yellow in color it is, and you can actually see the different bits of white shining through and starch, and it's very yellow, it's very breakable. When it's this yellow, the cheaper pastas that you buy in the store, the ones that are $1, 2 for $1 on sale, what they do is when it's this yellow, it tells you that when they dry the pasta, they dry it at a very, very high heat. So, because they're making so much of it and drying so much of it, it's extremely high heat, so they can crank it out as fast as possible. And not a lot of care goes into making of the pasta. Some people think that, well, what difference does it make? We spend all this money on buying good ingredients to cook with, and then we come to the pasta and we tend to, we'll buy that box for 50 cents. So this was $1 at the grocery store, this pasta that I bought. And then we're gonna look at some different brands of pasta. This is Di Checco pasta. From product of Italy, made in Italy, and we're gonna see the difference here. This, again, is a pasta you can get in just about every major grocery store. It's not hard to find. This pasta was, for this box, was $2. So for an extra $1, I'm getting a much nicer pasta. You see the color difference between, keep some of this out, this pasta so extremely yellow, and this pasta much whiter and much lighter, and it doesn't have all the splotchy white coming through. So this pasta is dried at a much slower rate, and it's also a durum wheat pasta, not a regular flour pasta. So you want to look at what the ingredients are for each pasta that you buy. And we're going to roll through some of these different pastas. So this is Di Checco. Again, any grocery store, you can find it very easy. Everybody knows this brand, I'm sure, Barilla, even more. You can find this absolutely anywhere. Every grocery store carries it. Barilla used to be a very, very, my opinion, excellent pasta, but they've changed the way they do things, and once again, you see how yellow this pasta is. This pasta is dried at an extremely high rate, and not a lot of care is gone into the making of the pasta. Now, certainly, if this is all you can find, Barilla is still a good brand of pasta to use. I would definitely say use it. This pasta, Barillo, I got this, was $2.49 for this box of pasta. So I'm kind of doing these in order of what I would, this pasta, the inexpensive dollar pastas, stay away from them. If you can find Di Checco or Barilla, that's an excellent choice. Now we're going to look at some different pastas. These are all spaghettis. They're all the same. This is Del Allo pasta, and you can already just see it coming out of the package. Look how light, and it's almost white, this pasta. And this tells you that it's dried very slowly. This is a semolina flour pasta, which I recommend if your pasta, a durum wheat or semolina pasta, is gonna have a much better flavor. It's gonna cook better. It's going to hold up better to the sauces and hold those sauces. See the difference between the dequeco and the dell'allo. There's a difference.
I'm just going to chime in. It is a little hard to see on the video, but it's more apparent when you're looking at the pasta. So even if you're in the grocery store and you hold one box or bag up to the other,
take a look at it and make sure you're picking those pastas that are much lighter in color. The lighter the pasta, the slower the drying and aging process was. Now this is when I can find this pasta, I always try to get it. A lot of times you can get this pasta on sale. I got this on sale for $2.50. And this is a wonderful pasta. Again, it's very, very white. All product of Italy, comes directly from Italy. This is an excellent, excellent pasta. And also notice when you're buying pasta, look at the cooking times. This pasta, this spaghetti here takes about 5 minutes to cook.
The cheap brand.
The cheaper brands, the less time they're going to spend cooking. You want to look at a pasta that's going to take 8, 9, 10 minutes to cook, because that's a very well-made pasta, not just a flour pasta that's been put together and dried at high heat. And the less expensive pastas that you buy, these $1 a box, full of a lot more starch. So you want to be careful of that too. While starch is important, this is Garofalo pasta. This is an excellent, excellent pasta. It's a little bit more on the expensive side. This was $3.50 for this package, but it is one of my absolute favorite pastas. And again, the white color of this pasta, it cooks. It takes about 13 to 14 minutes to cook this pasta. It is, in my recommendation, one of the best pastas you can find it. So Garofalo, if you see it, it's usually in the international section. When you go to the grocery store, look in your international section. If you can find this, I highly recommend you give it a try. But you're spending all this money on good food, get a good pasta to go with it. One last note, when we're cooking pasta needs to swim in the water. Don't put a little teeny pot of water and cook your pasta in a small teeny pot. See the pot behind me? It's a big, huge pot. That's the size pot you want to cook your spaghetti in. Spaghetti and noodles and pasta need to be able to swim. And you want that water, when you're cooking it, to taste like the ocean. So you want to put a good amount of salt in that water and get it to a good rolling boil before you put your pasta in the water. Follow the directions on each package. It tells you how long to cook it. If you like it al dente, if you like it more cooked, the package will tell you that. And one last tip, don't ever, ever, ever put oil in your pasta water. What happens is when you oil the water, it forms a cap on the top, and your water never truly gets to a full boil. So remember that. You just want some salt in there. You want it to taste like the ocean, and then cook your pasta in it per the package directions. Tune back in for more tips.